Welcome to another episode of the Instant Ink podcast. Today, we have a new creator with us. We're going to see how this all goes. We're going to see how creating a new piece of art that none of us on the podcast are aware of, and we're going to come up with a beautiful one-page project. I'm Adriano. You can find me at Pesto Comics on everything online. And I'm joined, as always, by my friend and co-host, Roberto.
I'm Roberto. I'm the founder of Green Iceberg Press and creator of Voyager.
And Aaron, if you'd like to introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, I'm Aaron. I'm a writer, creator of various horror comics. Enenra is my first one. I've done Blood and Fire, which is a supernatural samurai action horror, and its sequel, Ice and Bone. And my current one on Kickstarter is Amor Patris, which deals with exorcism. If you like your horror, certainly go look at it.
It sounds awesome. So I'm actually a fan myself. I've been backing your projects for quite a while. So although we haven't met and talked before, we've definitely come across each other.
Thank you very much. Always nice to see a fan. I'm doing something right.
Yeah, of course. And as always, we appreciate having you on. So how we're going to start this, I'm going to share my screen and we are going to look at some prompts. So ignore this first one that comes up automatically. And we're going to go with whatever comes when I hit this beautiful button. All right. So I will read these out to you. We have question mark, an unexpected question asked to a character and their reaction. Holding hands. Why are the couple on the subway holding hands? The glance. Two people can't stop glancing at each other. Picture perfect. Something that is supposed to be perfect but has a hidden flaw. And sugar addict. Write about your favorite dessert from the dessert's perspective. That's a strange one. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so anything speaking to you, Aaron? What?
The first that comes to mind is holding hands.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Yeah. Because strangely enough, because I was in Chicago at a trade show last week, we went on all the subways and I actually took photos for ideas for future comics. And one of them was a subway. Just that kind of straight away came out. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you know what? That's great. If you have an idea to run with, we'll go with that. So we're not going to restrict you to just one. So if holding hands is the one we're going for, we can start brainstorming that. But is there anything there that you maybe think you want to add to that, or are we just going to go with the holding hands?
Yeah, I have no idea about the sugar addict.
I don't even know where to go from that.
No, I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a terribly strange one. But
yeah, I'll just stick with the holding hands one.
Yeah, let's go with holding hand. Okay, so holding hand. So we're talking about a one page. I'm gonna kill my screen here so we can see each other real nice. The thing with the one page that we always have to keep in mind is we're always a little bit limited how much we can get across. So holding hands. So usually you want to have, I would say, what, Roberto, you could correct me if I'm wrong, like 6 panels maximum. That's we're getting like really aggressive if we go to 6.
Yeah, we can make more, but the limit of detail will be much smaller, or they may have tiny figures. It's good for crowds. If you want to make crowds, you should go for small ones. So every person is tested up. And then you can say they are holding hands.
We can't see them. They're really far away.
Yeah.
Just trust me.
Just few marks.
Maybe we won't go that way. But okay, so holding hands on the subway.
6 is reasonable.
6 is reasonable. So yeah, nothing. We're not going to pick the amount of panels before we start, but just as a guideline, we know we have some limitations right off the bat. Yeah. So holding hands. So you said you had an idea.
I had the idea of he starts with one character on the subway, maybe an old guy, and then he's actually reaching because he's obviously lost his wife, partner. Reaches for his hand, there's nothing there, so he's obviously sad, maybe in the second panel, but then a ghost hand kind of takes hold of him and holds his hand.
Okay.
And then it kind of goes away for the guy to be on his own in the subway as the train comes in. That's that kind of I go horror straight away.
Yeah. It's maybe the darkest episode yet, but I like it. It's different, and I think, man, you came out with a complete story.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
Yeah. And your inspiration, it worked. It always worked like that with the visual first. That you spoke about the subway on the
No, it was Chicago. I was getting ideas for Enenra because it goes back from it's like a pre and post apocalyptic. So the first part of the each issue is a glimpse in the future. So it's apocalyptic, and then the main body is how we get there. So I can do storylines in both, and I always do take snapshots of like areas and the subways and like the lower levels in Chicago are really weird. You're on the top floor and you don't realize there's levels underneath you until you actually go down. We went down one of the bridges and found there's like layers underneath, and it's all like really low ceiling and eerie lighting. So I took some snapshots, and like my friends were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "For my book."
Sounds right up your alley too. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so you're always looking for ideas. I wish I had the discipline.
Another scene, I was in the Nashville airport. I'm heading off for work, and I was like in the terminal thinking, this would be a pretty good scene for having if I had mutants come through this way and scare everyone and like attack that restaurant over there, and then they come over. Anyway, I was like playing the whole scene out. I can't do anything until I ask permission. So I'm like, this week I'm gonna send the airport an email saying, "Can I use Terminal D for in my book?"
Really? You have
Yeah, I sent an email to BA Airways, and they didn't seem too fussed about me using their airplanes in Enenra because that's the flight that we follow the path of in the storyline.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm in the cards of asking Disney to use some of their IPs in a comic. They say I need to actually draw it first, then send it, then permission, which is, well, I want it before, so I don't have to pay the artist to then pay the artist again to change it
right.
if I can't. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping if this is still in the back burner, many years to go, but it's complete, the writing's complete. It's just getting the artist and everything together to get it off the ground. But yeah, I've got the email saved for Disney to reply when I've got it finished.
Nice. So you have to do everything in reverse. Prove to them that you deserve their property.
Yeah, it's their
Yeah.
baby. I wouldn't expect someone
Sure.
to make something and print it and, oh, by the way, can I use a character in your book? You didn't even ask me before you sent it out there.
Yeah.
But it's a main character or
Oh,
it's just
it's a
background?
main character that I can't tell you without spoiling it because I wanted to be a big
Look right.
surprise in the comic.
But no, but in your story, the Disney character it's a main protagonist.
It's a kind of, whoa, I wasn't expecting that kind of thing. I
Nice.
think it's 2 panels in the book in issue 1. So yeah, it's like it sets the scene, you're following the characters, and bang, they're there. So it's like a big surprise. So I'm hoping they'll okay it because it's just 2 panels in the book. But if it gets too complicated, then I've got ideas to change it. I've got a plan B.
Yeah, you can always find like some kind of
Yeah.
yeah. Think of all the Superman type knockoffs there are even with other companies.
Yeah.
So worst case.
I mean, it would be awesome to having it in there, but if it's not doesn't work out, then it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, that's what makes it plan B.
Yeah.
Right. Plan A is
But I'm
go for the
hoping
big
for
shot.
plan A.
Yeah. Hey, man, it sounds awesome. So yeah, me too.
Yeah, so if I do, I have to ask permission because I had a song in my head that I wanted it emphasized in one of the Enenra issues. So I actually emailed the publisher of the song, an artist, to see if I could ask permission. And I said if I couldn't use the actual song lyrics, but I could use the song title. So you'll see the song title in the page, and then music fonts all over the place.
Right on. So you imply it. You feel it.
Yeah. But just play in the background while you're reading that bit.
Yeah. That's clever. I like that. It's a good way to get around. I know music rights are probably the most complicated of all of them too, right?
It's a nightmare. That's why I think you can use titles, but you can't use lyrics unless you get specific permission to do that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think because the rights are split between the performance and the writing.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, you'd have to get like the rights of the written.
The writer. I think because they get all the money for all the different like adaptations and different. If they get remixed, they still get the money. So you might as well be a writer rather than a singer. You get all the money.
Yeah, it seems to be the way to go. They're I guess they don't get to keep the masters, but outside of that, they're making money on every
Yeah.
iteration of it. That's how Taylor Swift makes all her money. She wrote all her songs, she gets to remake all her songs,
Yeah, and then
right? She doesn't write them.
she's a
She
smart
has no
cookie.
partner. Yeah.
She's a what, multi-billionaire already?
Yeah. It's pretty clever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to the topic at hand. So we have our story. We're pretty
Unless you
good. So
want to,
maybe Roberto, I don't
I'm not gonna take over everything. It's your show.
No, please. This is your episode. We're gonna add some color to it as we go. But maybe we can start with the layout because I think you had it pretty clear in your head. The visuals of it,
Yeah.
right? All right. So layout. So we'll watch as Roberto goes, and then we'll turn on his sound once the wash cycle complete. But
Well, the timing was perfect.
yes, it's how it would go. Best laid plans doesn't matter. But so for the layout, okay. So your story seems pretty clear. I think you even had the panel like sequence pretty well laid out. But remind me,
I think it probably
maybe
like
where
maybe 4 or 5 panels, having him, yeah, maybe 5 panels, having him standing in the subway on his own, and then the second one of him like reaching out with his hand as if to grab someone,
okay.
or maybe actually having him like look at his phone on a picture of him and his partner.
Oh yeah, that
But that
provides
kind of
some good content.
provides a bit of a background that what and then have him like the third panel having him like reaching out or something, and then there's no one there, but then there's like a ghost hand that takes hold of it.
So you get like an insert
Yeah,
of the hand. Yeah,
and then
I like that.
obviously the main, probably the largest one at the bottom is either him with the ghost of his partner or him alone. I don't know, depending on how you want to go with it. Do you want a happier ending or a sad ending?
I like the dark ending.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in the middle. That's something we make a game time decision. We'll see how Roberto makes it look, and then we'll decide who
Straight
want to
away,
be
he's better at the drawing than I am. Oh my god! In the seconds he started, I'd have stick character.
practice. Have you tried any drawing yourself,
Oh,
or are you just
I
straight?
did it like school, which was what, 30 years ago now. God, I'm old.
Yep. I
Um,
hear you.
it happened to me in, like I said, I was in Chicago with work, and I was the oldest person out of our group. And like we were sitting down talking, like, how old are you? And you're 28, you're 41. I'm like, I'm the oldest one here. How the hell did that happen?
When did that
Yeah.
happen?
I'm like, no, I'm too young for that to happen. But yeah,
Oh,
I did art at school back in the UK, but I have not done anything since then.
yeah.
So yeah, it was a long time ago, and I suppose I was okay, but nowhere near like just do this on the fly. No chance.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the hands because he's holding his phone and the better way to describe his in a
Ah,
soup
okay,
way
yeah.
is to have the handle. So maybe we need something else to inform about his previous relations with the wife. Maybe he's coming back from the
Yeah, I thought he was
cemetery.
going to be on the at the subway, the station, waiting for
Oh, the
the. Sorry,
station. Oh,
my bad.
oh, yeah.
See, this is what
Yes.
would have been in the paragraph.
Okay, so I got a question for you there. When you write your scripts for your artists, how do you go about it? I heard you say paragraph. Are you going really dense with the description,
I
or
If there's something specific I want or need, then I do. I even give like images, like reference images
right
for
on?
the artist to go off.
Do you share like a
Yes,
Pinterest folder or something like
yeah,
that with only
yeah. So
pictures
I
you make?
do that. We're actually going through that at the moment with my new project with the artist. We've got a Pinterest board that we're flooding with images we're finding. But I usually like if it's a character, especially if there's an actor or someone I'm visualizing who they visually represent, then I'll take like a screenshot of them and I can use it as a reference for the artist to go off. It helps them really because it saves going back and forth a lot with edits. So if there's anything I can do to help the artist, then I do my best. Generally, I've been very lucky with the artists I work with. They've take this little paragraph I write and make magic.
It is
Yeah,
incredible. It's yeah. I'm always amazed at how little prompting I can give sometimes.
yeah, very little.
Right, and when you get something back, oh my god, that's better than I was picturing in my head.
Yeah, and especially if there's a double page like splash, that it's like, oh my
Yeah,
god, that's what I wanted. Ah, how did you do that?
Yeah, that's something actually I hadn't done it before. I was always outside of the writing, like, I do all the back end. So I do all the lettering and putting it together for print and all that business.
Mhm.
So I was always a little bit intimidated by a double page spread and how to set that up with the printer and all that business.
Yeah,
Finally went for it this last project, and yeah, it looks amazing. Like, I'm so happy with
yeah,
how it's all turning out.
yeah. Because I've some one project, I'm all Patrice, my current Kickstarter. I've gone away from double pages because it doesn't really need it that much because it's more themed but the new one I'm making, which is like a science fiction epic, it's I do have a few double pages which kind of I really can't wait to get into it. But I have to get these
That's
funded
awesome.
before I can move on to the new one. So it's a kind of I have a set sequence which I'm hoping stays true. My artist is itching to start getting ready, but yeah, he's already read book one, so I've just sent him book two, so hopefully he likes it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Then yourself,
So how deep are you in the,
how do you
like,
do setups and format of your scripts? Do you like because I know everyone seems to do it differently on how to. Is it like a paragraph and then speeches, or is it like
yeah. So, I don't know what you used to write. I use Scrivener,
okay,
and yeah, in Scrivener, there's, like, a default template. So you could do the Fred Van Lente one. I don't know if you've seen that type of
no,
scripting. So that's a very popular one that everybody recommends, but I don't know, I just don't like the look of it because it ends up looking like everything starts on the same spot, but I'm a film school kid,
okay,
so I'm used to, like, screenplay format, and the Scrivener format's very similar. It's like a good cross between a comic script and a
okay,
screenplay, just in how it does the dialogue, like, it centers it. I give myself, like, some very sparse
okay.
information in terms of, "This is what's happening in this scene, if you can do it better, please do," and this is what they say. And I really focus on the dialogue because I also do the lettering, so I'm just doing future me a
Okay.
favor, trying to pace it right. Even how the balloons lay
Mhm.
out, that if there's gonna be 3 balloons in one little speech there, like, I try to break that out in the script and all that, so I focus more there than the direction for the artist. I've been lucky with who I work with that they're open to that, where they're like, "Yeah, like, I don't need you to guide me too much." I've had a couple artists that I've worked with that are like, "Tell me exactly what you want. I don't wanna think. Just tell me what you
Right.
want what you want."
Yeah.
Right? And I don't mind that. That's fine. I have that in my head, but
The
a lot of times I want,
the meme.
trust the artist. But yeah, like, it's I guess depends on the artist. Like I said, I've had a little of both. I usually end up working with the ones that are a little more like they don't mind the loose direction.
Yeah.
Like this sort of picture. I still go full script though. I'm still like 5 panels. This is what happens to this panel. This is what happens to this panel. Always with the caveat of do whatever you want. If you have a better way of doing this, like as long as you get what I'm trying to get across
Yeah.
on this page, go for
Yeah,
it. Right?
that's what I've gone with. I usually do at least 4 panels to say if he feels like there's something extra to add, it gives him a bit more room. But yeah,
Mhm.
it says it as long as he hits the finer points and the main points, then I'm happy for him to go with the flow and what appeals to him because he's the artist. He's got that artistic flair that I like tapping into rather than specifically I want this and this.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, you gotta trust the
Yeah,
artist to do their bit, that's their specialty,
for
so
sure.
I try to like, just this is the emotion I'm trying to get across, this is the point of this page, do it the best you
Yeah,
can, right?
for real.
I feel like the Marvel method of things, where it's just like, they walk into a room and something horrible happened, next page, like that, I don't think I could go that far,
Mm,
I feel like I need to have a little bit of say in how this whole the pacing and all that
yeah.
business, but yeah, like, in terms of, like, specifics, I try not to do it too often unless I have a very clear, and I think you mentioned that you'll even give references in that. Like if you have a very clear mental image of how things are supposed to
Yeah.
look, then sure. But for the most part, I'm usually pretty loose. I've even so there's one artist I work with, Raphael. He I don't even he used to send me layouts, but yeah, so he used to send me layouts, and I would just say good, and he stopped sending me layouts because it's been like it's been like 3 projects now where he sends me stuff, and I just say good. So he's okay. I'm just gonna send you the finished product, and yeah, that's how it goes
Yeah.
now.
Ezekiel, who I've worked with for probably 10 plus years, he started on Enenra, which actually started as a
Mhm.
TV script too. So we're in the same boat in that regard. Yeah, he actually does the whole book now and then sends it to me. So, and he did the Ice and Bone, the whole book, sent it to me, and I said, can you change like one panel in the entire book?
Yeah,
Damn, that's so good.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
It's such a good feeling too. It's yeah, like you put these words together and then you hope for the best.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like when it comes back better than you
Oh
imagined.
yeah. Some of the stuff he created is like amazing. Like, how do you
Yeah.
do that?
You can't compete with it. You can't compete with that
No.
feeling of just
That's
you
why I
improve
don't
from
think
method.
artists should worry about AI, because main comic creators will always go to an artist because they can do that stuff, where AI are just they're just so like soulless, to be honest. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Where the artists I've worked with and other ones who I've backed and got their books, they're amazing. They really are. There's too many
It's true.
to choose from.
I think there's a novelty in it, if anything. Like that's really all it comes down to. This is the first time you open Chat GPT and you ask it some silly questions and you're like, wow, it sent me back blah blah blah. And then it wears off and you're like, yeah, this is all
Yeah,
garbage, right?
for sure. Yeah.
But at first it's oh my goodness, like I couldn't whatever I write, it's popping
Yeah.
up.
You could
And
write a
then,
novel in 5 seconds by putting these
yeah,
prompts
and
in.
then you realize it's trash.
Yeah. It's absolute garbage.
Yeah. It's good in a way though, because at least now it's at least the bar is raised a bit. Like you can't just come out with cookie cutter stuff because that's easily replicated and easily done.
Yeah.
So you have to do better. You have to come up with something different.